Hi, thank you for joining me for another Using My Scraps video, and today I'm focusing on greens. So I'm going to create one of my favourite layouts, which is a vertical middle of the page layout. So first of all, I'm going to lay down a base using some inks and my brayer. I've chosen three inks, three green ones, which I've gone for Mowed Lawn, Iced Spruce, and this one is Bundled Sage. So you saw I used my larger brayer down. Well, first of all, I smeared the pad down the centre of the page using my grid on my glass mat to find the centre of the cardstock. And then I used the large roller on Mowed Lawn. And then I'm just coming in with this smaller brayer to do the Bundled Sage. And now I'm coming in with this lovely script stamp that I've used previously from Darkroom Door, just to add a little bit more texture to the background, just stamping it across those inked areas. And now I'm coming in with my papers. So I'm starting off with a lovely bold black and white stripe, and then going through some other green pieces just to add some layers. This photo is of Amelia with her friend Michael, just walking where we live. They go through a lovely park called Victoria Park to go to college. Michael goes to a different college, but he'd come down to meet Amelia and her friends for the day. So this is them just walking from the park back to college. And her friend snapped this really cute photo of the two of them walking along together, chatting. So I wanted to document this photo. I just thought it was really cute, and I knew she'd like it in her album. So as you can see, I'm just pulling out various scraps of papers and starting to layer them up, just to get an idea of how I want the shape to be and how I want it all to meld together. And not really worrying too much about the tones of greens that I've got. So I've got some more blue toned ones and some more yellow toned ones, but they all work really nicely together. And having those different tones gives the depth of field really in the layout. So I just wanted one more piece, which I've just cut there from a full 12-inch wide piece, and that's going to go along the black and white stripes. I do cut it down ever so slightly, but more or less I keep it the length it is. So I realised that the photo needed to pop a little bit more, so I'm just going to mat it onto some white cardstock and then onto black, and that really makes it the centre of attention on this layout, which is going to be quite busy with all these layers behind. So that's on the white, and now just bringing it down onto the black, trimming that down, and then I can carry on. And I am going to distress the edges of the papers, so that's what I'm doing now. And as I distress each layer, I'm going to stick them to each other, not to the background just yet, but as one piece, just building this mat up. So that's where I cut a little bit off the length of this piece, not too much, probably about 1/2 inch. And then that'll be laid down onto the black and white stripes, and then I'll carry on layering up those pieces. So although I layered them in a roundabout way when I was building this, I didn't keep them as they were. I decided just to pull everything apart, start distressing, and build it up as I go, because I was happy with the size of the pieces that I had and that I had enough layers here. So you saw I distressed that dark green with the white slashes on, but then decided that I wanted that to go more to the right, so I'm just bringing this other piece in first, sticking that down, and then I can stick that darker green piece behind it. So just slowly building this up and bringing the photo in from time to time just to check that I'm happy with the way things are looking, which I am. Almost there now, just a couple more pieces to add. I've got that stripy piece, so I just want to see where I want to put that, and I want it to tuck under nicely so that you don't see that ripped edge at the bottom. So bringing that up to the top there, and then just adding a little bit of adhesive and tucking it under. And then this last piece. I'm just looking at the layout now, and you could just see little bits of all these pieces. I carry on covering them up with the various things as I go, and I move the photo over slightly as well. So that's the basis for it. Just this last little piece, and I decided to rip it in half and add half to the top and half to the bottom, just to extend that line. So there's the bit going at the bottom. I don't know why I haven't stuck the photo down at this stage. I think because I was still building, I just wanted to make sure that I was happy with the way the layout was going before the photo finally went down. So first of all, I wanted to add some more mixed media, so I've grabbed my gold glaze from Vicky Boutin, and I'm just dampening it slightly with some water, and also my stencil brush just to make it flow easily through the stencil. This is a Tim Holtz stencil. I love this one. It's got like a distressed look to it. So just blending this glaze through that stencil, and you'll see when I pull it off it's very blocky, and I'm really not happy with that. So I just have a think, put some more down at the bottom left, which is what I wanted to do anyway, but you see how blocky that is, and that's just not my style. So I try using the edge of the stencil to extend those lines, but it doesn't work terribly well, but I will find a solution shortly. So just moving it over to the other side, and here I go I'm a bit too mean with it because I'm panicking about having another block on this side. I don't really go far enough out with it, but again, I'll have a play, and I do sort it out in the end. So my solution is just using the rays on the stencil and extending those lines out. So they won't get any wider, but it does just blend them out across the page. So I spend some time doing that on this piece, and then I'll do the same on the left hand side and just extend those lines that little bit further. So you can see how it's building up quite nicely. So I'm just working on various rays to get that sorted. And I do have to come back in a few times just to deepen it up in certain areas. But you can see already it's starting to look much better. And I wanted to add another ray at the bottom there where the stencil hadn't quite covered it all. Almost there now. And I just keep dabbing back into that glaze, and I do have to re-wet the brush when I go onto the left hand side because it's starting to stick a little bit more and not glide quite as easily as it did when I started. So just coming up a little bit more at the top. I wanted to take this right off the page at the top. There we go. And then just bringing that photo in to check that I'm happy, and then doing exactly the same here. So there you see I'm just misting the brush just to make it move a bit more easily. And straight away you can see I've had a mistake. I've created a line at the top there, but I will show you how I remedy that in due course. And that's how I do it, just wetting a piece of kitchen towel and rubbing it down. But then because I already had glaze on the kitchen towel, I managed to get more at the top, so I had to do the same there. But it came off just fine. Because it's got quite a grungy look to this layout, it really doesn't matter if there's a little bit left showing. So this is the very last frame that I've got from this Simply the Best set from Pink Fresh Studio. So I'm just going to use that as a layering piece at the top left, and then I'm bringing in these two dies from Hey Little Magpie to cut a couple of frames from the scrap papers just to bring in. So you saw I used the frames to give me an idea of how things will look before I cut out the paper and then position them down. Now that larger frame on the left, whilst I love it, it wasn't jibing terribly well with me because I've got that stripy paper on the right hand side. It didn't help that I had the stripes going one way on the stripy paper on the right and the other way on that frame. But in the end I do switch that out and move things around a little and use a different paper. So I've got that for another layout in the future. So just bringing that Pink Fresh Studio frame back in, and I keep managing to stick this one down because of the adhesive behind the photo mat. And just playing around, messing around with the way the stripes go, trying to work out what I'm going to do, but I'm really not happy. As I say, it just doesn't seem to gel very well. So in the end I pull it off, put the smaller one there, try the larger one at the bottom, but that doesn't work either. So then I cut it out of this tartan, and that actually works really nicely because it matches the tartan that's on that Pink Fresh piece. So you've got the same sort of design through the page. So much happier with that. Just deciding which side of this small green one I want to use, and then roughing up the edges with my fingernail and getting that stuck down. And it's a heavy paper, it's a 49er market paper, so it's not easy trying to distress that with your fingernails. So there we go. So you can see how it's starting to build up. Just want to get this frame straight, so just pulling it up to get it where I want it. And then I wanted to bring in one of my film strip dies as well, so just bringing that in just in black, just a black cardstock, and that again makes the photo pop with all that green having the black behind it too. So just getting that glued down, and I think it is at this point that I do decide that it's time to get that photo stuck down because I've got enough layers behind it. So just checking that I'm happy, moving that frame over a little, and then coming in with 6-2 foam pads just to raise that photo ever so slightly, because of all the different layers behind it. The foam just is a little bit forgiving, and it's not going to be all wobbly on the page. So now coming in with some of my older stickers again. This is Sunshine on My Mind by Pink Fresh Studio, and I just love this sticker that says Summer State of Mind, so that's going to go there over the photo, just a tiny bit hanging off the end, and I do in fact come in with some foam to just raise that up at the end. And then this one that says Love This So Much, and I thought that was cute. I like this sticker from these Vicky Boutin, I think it's the Sweet Rush collection, so I had that. Today was a perfect day at the bottom, and then at the top that little tab that says Hello You. Then I wanted to balance this out a little bit more. I felt it was slightly lopsided to the right. It was a little bit heavy to the right of the page, so I just brought in this title that says Hello Friend, and that's from Simple Stories. And then this is a new pad to me. These stickers are absolutely brilliant for adding in with older stash. They're like a rainbow sticker. You've seen each sheet is a different colour, and they just work really nicely with scraps. So something I would highly recommend if you're looking to use your scraps but getting a bit bored of it. Just treat yourself to a little something new, something like this. I forget what it's called. It's the Simple Vintage colourful palette maybe from Simple Stories, but do have a look at them. They're brilliant. They do some lovely foam stickers which I've got, and these sticker books as well. So you can see I'm just going through, and I wanted to bring in a little bit more of that blue green, so just going in with the teal sheet, and I've added that little scallop stripe down the right hand side, and then there was a little bit that I pulled off, so I added that underneath that Love This So Much sticker. And now I'm coming in with my journaling, and it just says Michael came and met you for the day. I love this photo of the two of you together. So back into this sticker sheet, just want to see what else I can add. Back to the green this time, and I find these two little butterflies, so I add one to the bottom, just flying to the left, and then one to the top flying off to the right, and that sort of carries that diagonal line through. So almost there now. I'm going to add some gold splatters just with the gold watercolour paint, add these all around the edges of the paper. And then when I've done that, I decide that I actually want to bring some of the gold onto the black, just to break that starkness of the black of the film strip up. So I'm just going to dot a little bit of gold onto that, and you'll see in the close-ups just how effective that is. And that completes the layout. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you're still enjoying this series, this mini-series that I've created of using my scraps. My box is finally starting to close, but there's still a way to go, so I shall keep going, and I'll see you soon. Bye.